Yesterday, we learned how to identify the author's point of view in an informational text. Remember that point of view is how the author feels about the subject. Today, we're going to look at how to tell the difference between the author's point of view and his purpose. I'm going to ask for you to open to the notes that you took yesterday on point of view in the reading section of your composition notebook. If you have room at the bottom of that page, you can take these notes there. If not, just turn to the next blank page in your reading section and write these notes down. Our learning target for today is readers distinguish the author's point of view from their purpose. Author's purpose is the author's reason or intent for writing the text, the paragraph, or the line. The question we're going to ask ourselves when we're trying to identify the author's purpose is, why did the author write this? What was their goal? Take a moment and write these notes down in the reading section of your composition notebook. Oftentimes when we are trying to identify the point of view of an informational text, we confuse it with the author's purpose. Point of view is how the author feels about the subject. Yesterday, the question we asked ourselves to identify the point of view in the article was, how does this guy feel about the science of animal farts? And we answered this question by saying that he thinks the science of animal farts is both interesting and hilarious. That's how he, as the writer, feels about the subject. His purpose, however, his reason for writing the article, might be really different than his feeling. The question we're going to ask ourselves when we're trying to identify the purpose is, why did this guy write this article? Well, one of his reasons for writing the article was to show how science can be both serious and entertaining at the same time. He also, however, wants to get people interested in science through making them giggle. That's the author's purpose for writing the entire article. As readers, we can also look at the author's purpose for writing a small part, for including one sentence or one paragraph in the text. Let's look now at a couple of paragraphs from the article that we read over the last 2 days. Lau studies chimpanzees in Uganda's Budongo forest. The chimp's gas appears to change with their food. Fruit is tootier than leaves, and figs seem to be the worst offenders, she said. Sometimes farts have even aided in her study. Several times I have been with 1 or 2 chimps and not been aware others are nearby until the farts start, says Lau. Some of them have that very long air being released from a balloon quality, which is handy because it gives you a bit longer to pinpoint where it's coming from. So the question we're going to ask ourselves when we're trying to identify the author's purpose of one part of the text might be something like, what is the author's purpose for including this example? Or I said, what is the author's purpose for including Lau, the scientist's story of chimps farting? Well, I think the author's purpose is to give an example of how something silly, right, like farting, can be important to scientific research, right? It helps her pinpoint where the chimps are coming from, right, where the chimps are located so that she can study them further. It supports his central idea that science can be both serious and really entertaining. So what I'm going to ask for you to do now is you're going to read another just short text on animal gas. And I'm going to ask for you to try to identify the point of view, the author's purpose for writing the entire text, and the author's purpose for writing just a short part. Thanks. Get started.